What's going on, guys? So after 6 years of developing the Forgotten Village, I was finally able to release my first ever public demo on April 2nd. I was excited, but also extremely nervous to see what others thought about the game. Even though I tested the game internally for hundreds of hours, I still had the worst possible thoughts running through my mind. Would the game break before they could even play it? Would everyone hate the game? Or worse, would anyone even care enough to play it? Despite my concerns, I released the demo on April 2nd. I was actually approved for April 1st release, but I don't want people to think it was an April Fool's joke, so instead I released it on April 2nd just to be safe. My first worry disappeared the same night at 11:33 p.m. when I received this text from my brother-in-law. Not only did the game work for him, he ended up actually completing all the quests and achievements in under an hour. This was awesome to see, considering he had never even tested the game prior to this. I went to sleep that night with much more excitement and confidence than I had earlier in the day. I figured even if the public hated the game, worst case, it was still able to be downloaded through Steam and played through. I woke up the next morning to some texts and emails from friends and family, some of which were enjoying the game, while others couldn't play as they didn't have a PC to try it on. Although I felt bad that not everyone could try the game immediately, the limited feedback was almost a blessing in disguise. The reason being, I expected the only feedback to come from people I knew in person or who followed me here on YouTube. However, to my surprise, others found the game through tags on Steam, as well as from other social media platforms. By the end of April, the demo had over 100 downloads with a median time played of 32 minutes and an average time played of over 2 hours. This was a huge confidence boost for me, considering the demo is only meant to be probably like a 20 to 30 minute trial to simply test the game mechanics. I spent the majority of April replying to player feedback through Steam, Discord, email, etc. And I addressed quick fixes in the first few days, such as the empty watering can bug and lack of an exit game button in the main menu. And I re-uploaded a second test build to Steam. Longer term improvements and suggestions from people I added on my May to-do list, and some common issues players had was like the UI not scaling to different screen sizes, the mouse hotspot was off center, and the animations or player movement kind of felt choppy, more so on keyboard and mouse than controller. So in addition, when one player got stuck behind a rock when jumping, and one player's game froze when trying to complete one of the farming quests. Despite these issues, I was extremely thankful to those who spent the time to not only play it, but also provide me with valuable feedback to help the Forgotten Village reach its eventual full potential. So at this point in the video, I'd like to share the feedback I received, then go into what players enjoyed the most, and finally share my plans to fix and expand the game into a full version. First off, after 135 downloads to date, I received feedback from approximately 10% of those players, and based on this, I was able to add about 50 to 55 new unique tasks to my to-do list. Some issues were difficulty related, such as where to get the water for the watering can or where to get the net to catch fireflies, while others were more game breaking, such as no windowed mode, so people with an ultra wide monitor couldn't play it, the offset mouse hotspot I mentioned before, cursor not locking within the screen limits, especially annoying for people who had two screens, and the UI not scaling to different monitor sizes. Other critiques included the player appearance, lighting, movement controls, and animations, all of which I could fix in the full version of the game when I add the final polish to the game. Also, when swinging the axe or pickaxe, it was difficult to target trees or break rocks, so auto-targeting was also suggested by a few people as well. Overall, though, it was awesome that players cared enough to tell me what needed to be improved, as well as what features they enjoyed the most. Majority of players told me they loved the quest structure. It was simple, straightforward, and rewarding, as every quest completed rewarded a useful item. Many also loved the dialogue, which is great because each NPC character will have their own unique personality and dialogue, as well as questline and special rewards upon completing the quests. And in addition, I received a lot of positive comments on the atmosphere, such as the cottages, trees, buildings, and unique sound effects when cutting weeds or chopping down trees. A lot of players love the fact that you can change the world around you too by fixing objects, planting crops, chopping trees, breaking rocks, or cutting weeds. So not to mention, crafting will add an entirely new way to further customize the village, as well as inside your cottage. The best part about this is that the most loved areas of the demo are going to be the core elements of the eventual game that I could expand upon. And now that I know the main player issues as well as the most enjoyable features of the demo, I have a much better development plan for the eventual full release of the Forgotten Village. So after posting this video, I will work on completing those 50 or so items on my to-do list, from the UI scaling to fixing quest bugs to mouse cursor issue. Then once completed, I'll resubmit a second version of the demo to Steam for approval. In the proper section this time, I made the mistake of not uploading the demo into the demo section, so it actually releases a full game, which kind of confused some people, understandably. And finally, I will begin planning out the full version of the game. This will include all the systems that are not in the demo, such as fishing, crafting, the ability to have animals, new NPCs, new locations such as the beach, the forest, and the town, which is kind of going to be the main area where most NPCs will be, all the dialogue, new quests, and rewards. So personally, I don't really like filler quests or filler dialogue in games, so my main goal is to ensure every completed quest translates into a useful item reward, equipment reward, or unlocks a new area, and every bit of dialogue has some information about the story or about, what's needed for the quest at hand. In any case, thank you to everyone who has tried the game, followed me here on YouTube, or provided me feedback throughout this crazy 6-year journey. I'm excited. So many people enjoyed the demo so far, and I can't wait to build the rest of the game with your feedback in mind. So thank you again, and stay tuned for the next version of the demo.